Hello, everybody. V.D.B.CoinRollKing here. I want to touch on what I'd consider kind of an important topic today regarding U.S. coins, and more in depth, I'm going to be talking about Roosevelt Dimes. So I'm sure you guys have given this thought as well. Maybe you haven't, but they have been making Roosevelt Dimes for a very long time. And today I have made some notes in my red book. I went through to see how many years they did in dimes. I believe I did it, let's see, barber dimes I possibly did. Then I went to Mercury, and then of course to Roosevelt, because that's the topic we're focusing on, as well as quarters, pennies, and nickels. So let's get on to the main topic of this. So, like I said, they've been making Roosevelt dimes for quite a lot of years now. And when you compare them to other varieties of dimes, whether they be silver or not silver or whatever, what have you, they have been made a long time. So, I've made a couple examples to take a step on. And so, right here, for example, we have the Winged Liberty Head or Mercury dime. So they made these for a total of 30 years. Okay. Let me see if I did barber dimes. I did. Did I? No, I did not do barber dimes. So you have the Mercury dimes, 30 years, right? Then we go to Roosevelt dimes. Now, I'm not sure if the 2019 releases have been released yet, but as of 2018, guys, 73 years running for the same Roosevelt dime. Now, there have been a few minor changes, just like a lot of coins. They can be as minor as, for example, in 1992 when they transitioned the reverse design close and wide AM, and they had issues with that. Well, that's in comparison to where on the silver Roosevelt dimes, the mint mark was on the back instead of the front. So I guess what I'm getting at is the Roosevelt dimes, I'm wondering, why have they not changed for so long? And I was reading up on my, I was just reading my album books today, and one piece of information caught my eye while I was doing this. And that is that a while back, before 2009, and even before, I think, 1999, the Republic of Congress, I think it's called, had a rule, and that was that trying to think. Let me get my album out really quick, and I can give it to you guys exactly word for word. Okay, so here's my state quarters album. Now, this is not just in regards to quarters, guys. This is in regards to all coins. So let me pull it out, and I'll read to you what it says. So it's kind of weird how this starts off, but it says, "What part of no don't you understand? That might be a handy summary of the treatment of many years of requests by collectors for new designs on the circulating coins of the United States. By law, the Treasury Secretary has the authority to change the design on any coin that has been used for 25 years. And so now we'll take a look at the Roosevelt dimes. Now, it says they can. It doesn't mean they have to. But they have been running for 73 years as of 2018. So let's continue on. That's the law. In practice, the Treasury Secretary can't remove a little finger without congressional approval. It was in this environment in the mid-1990s that the concept of a series of 50 state quarters was introduced. It received remarkably favorable treatment in Congress. In fact, the Congress said yes. The result is that the program, which concluded in 2008 because of its enormous popularity and success, became the template from which other coin changes could be modeled." Now let's stop there, because we don't want to get too far off track. So then again, we take a look. Now, why have they been making these for so many years? I can't really answer that question myself, but if I had to make any guesses to why they have not changed it, it would have to be that, how would I put this? Kind of like they've kept Lincoln on the penny for so many years. That's probably why they keep Roosevelt. And still, I don't know why they kept Lincoln on the penny for so many years, even though they changed the reverse and the designs and whatnot. So now let's look at a couple of examples of some different coins. So, let's go back to pennies. Now, pennies is a great example of coins that have changed so much throughout the years. So, right here we're looking at the Indian head pennies. Now, these were made for a total of 51 years. And remember that after 25 years, so back in this time, this law was still established where you couldn't change the coin's design unless there was 25 years, unless you had approval by, I forget what it's called, but something about congressional approval, I believe. So 51 years on the Indian head penny. And then we move on to the Lincoln penny, which was the wheat penny. These were made for 50 years. Okay, so still pretty solid. Been kept for a long time. And then they changed it to the reverse into a memorial cent, not to list that they did have a steel cent, but that was due to a economical happening due to history and the war and whatnot, where they had to reserve copper for bullets and different things. So then we move on to memorial cents. So these were made a total of 60 years, 1959 through 2008. Okay, and then obviously I didn't put a sticker here for 2009 because obviously that was 1 year where they had 4 different designs, so it was a 1 year span. Okay, so then we continue on to the shield pennies. Now the reason I'm not listing these is because they're still making them, and I don't know how long they're going to be making them. But, so we look at that, and throughout the years, many coins and the pennies have changed. And you have to wonder, well, why does it change so much? Or you could look at it the way I'm looking at it for the dimes and be like, why doesn't it change enough? Or maybe it is changing enough, It's all up for opinion. So, let's move on to a different kind. So, let's go to the nickels. So, we are going to be starting at the buffalo nickels. So the buffalo nickels were made for 26 years, 1913 through 1938. Okay, and halfway through 1938, maybe a little bit more, they started making the Jefferson nickel, which was made of, I believe, actually nickel. Of course, they had 1942, some of them, through 1945, that were made of 35% silver. So, with some minor changes on the reverse of this coin, Thomas Jefferson and his portrait alone were kept the same for 66 years. Okay, and I'll just show you in case you're not too familiar, maybe just getting started or something. But as you can see, there's Jefferson. I'll bring it closer so you can see better. Okay, there he is. So that's the first one. This is Jefferson 38 to 2003. It says up here. And then you look here. 43. It doesn't show the full picture, but same portrait. And down here, you can see if you compare with the obverse of one of your nickels. Same portrait, 1966 or 2003. And then finally, they carried on to a new design production, Westward Journey, 2004 to 2005 here, where they made the keelboat, the bison, the ocean in view, and peace medal. And so, then again, we look, and there were many changes in a small period of time with nickels, okay? So, let's look at one more, okay? I'm not going to get into half dollars, but I will get into the quarters. Let's see here. Let's see. Okay, so there's the barber quarter. I didn't do those. I started with the Jefferson. I wanted to start with more modern ones to start, but I did take into consideration how many years they did make other coins, and as far as I could look into my red book, I didn't go into complete detail. I did for the dimes, but most don't even get close to how many years they've been making the Roosevelt dime. So here we have The regular Eagle reverse quarter they made for 28 years, also counting the silver quarter. So, actually, no. The silver quarter was made 33 years, and then they transitioned to a copper nickel clad version with the same Eagle reverse for, let's see here. For 28 years. Then we go back to the state quarters here, and they made those for 11 years. This was a production requested by a lot of people, and maybe not this in particular, but they just wanted a new design, and people were really pushing for that, and that's what I just read to you in my album there. So then we look at the, and of course I might have been digging in too far here, but then I went to the America the Beautiful quarters, and even though I don't know all the designs yet, I do know when they're going to make them. They sell the books, the albums for you to already fill in. They're making them through 2010 through 2021, which is a total of 12 years. And so now we center back to the Roosevelt Dimes, and the same question remains. Why do they make them, or why did they make them, and why do they still make them for so many years? I mean, we are looking at 73 years, and none of the other coins that I have mentioned out of all the denominations, except for half dollars or dollars, have they made, especially in the dimes, such a long, how would I say this? Such a long production of basically the same design with a few minor changes. Like I said before, the only minor change in the Roosevelt Dimes that has happened throughout forever that I know of is that the mint mark was on the back, and of course that it was made of silver. Compared to today's, which is made of copper nickel clad, and the mint mark is on the front. So, I guess my question to you guys is, I would like you to write in the comments, just a couple brief answers. You don't have to write full sentences. It would just be appreciated if you had, if you could give me some feedback. This is something that's been on my mind for a while. So, the first question is, when do you think they're going to change this? The Roosevelt, the Roosevelt dime design? I guess the second one would be, do you think they'll change it? Okay. I mean, obviously, they have to change it at some point, but when do you think they're going to change it? Are they going to change it? Why has this been the, why have they kept this the same for so long? And I guess those are the only questions I really have. And like I said, this has been on my mind for quite a long time now. And it just stands out because of how long they've been made. I myself only have 2 silver dimes, not that that has anything to do with what I'm talking about, but, you know, I look at the silver dimes and I look at the, you know, other clad dimes and I think, wow, you know, was there a point where somebody thought, you know, well, we're done making the silver dimes, the economy's changing, you know, nobody's using silver anymore in the U.S., you know, prices are going up, and then, so they still, even though they have a chance to switch it, they don't, which is okay. But 73 years as of 2018. Well, I guess that's all I have to say, guys. I want to thank you for watching, for giving me your time. Please do leave your replies in the comments if you would. I want to thank you for watching this. I'd appreciate it if you'd give me a like, if you'd click the bell and subscribe if you haven't already, especially click the bell so that you get all notifications of my new videos coming up and my live streams coming up. If you would further like to support my channel, and I'd appreciate it if you did, don't feel obligated to do this, but if you would like to further support my channel, I do have a PayPal. That PayPal is, my PayPal.me link is paypal.me/BlackSkyler. Black like the color, and Skyler, S-K-Y-L-E-R. Now, sometimes that doesn't work, so you can use my email, black.skyler.12@gmail.com. And furthermore, guys, if that doesn't work, use Skyler as the first name, Black as the last name, and country USA if you have to input the information. Like I said, don't feel obligated, but if you would, I'd appreciate it. It helps me give back to the community. I buy stuff to do giveaways. I buy more coins. You can buy rolls during my streams sometimes and win what's in them. For example, not to deviate off the subject too much, but still, like for example, pennies. I mostly do pennies, and you can buy a roll of pennies for 50 cents each. But I guess that's all I have to say. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys very soon.